was born in Shanghai and went to Belgium to study and work in his pursuit of architecture career. His works have won great international recognition and were awarded several top prizes. Several years ago, he came back to Shanghai, rooted here, and designs for the world. Today, let's find out more about this young architect and to see how he injects architecture into his life.
He's a Chinese architect, and he's already well established in Europe. He is young, confident, creative, and adventurous. He loves architecture and takes it as his life. Immersed in the world of architecture, he finds every detail of life inspiring and enlightening. Let's find out more about the young architect, following his discovery of the omnipresent inspiration.
So Ho Liang is actually a new friend and a new neighbor. I only got to know him 6 months ago when I just started the construction of Hamilton House. And he was very friendly. He came to me, introduced himself, was very curious about what I do here. Also said to me that, he's a foodie, he loves good food, he loves going to good restaurants. And then we became friends.
He's an interesting kind of Shanghainese person because he's a very sophisticated and a very interesting mind, and also a fine mind, I think.
To me, Ho Liang is a very talented and potential young gentleman. Okay, he's specialist in the architecture field.
这是一个儒雅的一个学士，给我的感觉很有礼貌，然后呢很有修养，很有教养。
Hello and welcome to today's Miss X. And today I have a very special friend. We are sitting just in the environment designed by him. He was born in Shanghai and always pursues his dream to be the top architect in the world. Ho Liang, just say hello to our audience.
Hello everyone.
So what was your greatest gain from your 2-year study in Belgium?
As I remember, the first thing I saw in Belgium is the amazing architecture legacy in Brussels, because Belgium actually is a very young country. In the beginning of 20th century, they just built up their new nation, so they tried to create something new. So a little bit like China now, so identity became very important. Then what interests me is I found a very familiar design in Belgium, which I can easily tune in within this atmosphere. I don't know why. So that I try to dig out. I think why it's so familiar. It's like a déjà vu, and then I go study further about the history of architecture in Belgium. Actually, at that time they have a movement called the craftsmanship movement. Actually, it's called Art Nouveau period. Before this period is Orientalism. So that's perfect proved why I found familiar, because they learned from Orientalism.
I see.
From China or Japan. So because they say, oh, look at this Chinese booklet they bring by the Western priest at that time. Maybe some designer never see any pagoda or never see any temple in China. But then they see this pamphlet and they say, oh, that's the proof. Look, could be better, beautiful. Yeah. So when I live in Brussels, I like this a little boutique, little cafe, everything. They very for me is they have very good taste in design. So I think that's most thing I learned in Belgium, and also because I feel this familiar, that confirm my confidence, because I think I can design like this. So why I have to learn anything from so-called Western art? Because
Everything rooted from Eastern.
yes.
The old building where Huliang works, the drawings on the wall, and the models on the table all witness his overnight meditation, his happiness, his frustration, and his persistence. The Tsunami Memorial in Thailand, the Art Center in Seoul, the John Paul II Center in Poland. These internationally awarded projects not only prove the talents of Huliang, but also wins a lot of fame for the other Chinese architects in Europe.
So this is a project we did for the competition in Poland. This is a museum. Actually, it's a museum. This is the image of Jean Paul II. He always opened his arms like this to the public. So we curve and then lift up the roof in a way like an open arm gesture. Second idea is come from the light candle light spreading towards all the direction. So combine this plan in the radiation light and with the facade with this open arms, so we get this two in the same time. So we get this concept.
I just found out this, the whole environment is very special because just look at this moment, you will feel, okay, it's a studio. But when you step out, you'll feel, wow, this is a strange place because this is their old building and you are working with those living residents all around.
Yeah.
So how did you find this place and make it to be your studio?
Why? Well, I think I found it amazing because, because designers don't like to stay in these big blocks.
Yeah, you are not afraid of any noises?
Well, I think it's more funny than annoying because, of course, they don't come every day. Most funny part is one afternoon because we put more light in our corridor in front of our doors. So one afternoon, there is a four elder, elder grandmother, grandpa, and they gathered in front of our door to play mahjong. I can't figure out why. So why you play in front of my door? Because usually they play in the other corridor, which have a natural light. But that day there's a heavy rain. It's too dark, but they want to continue their enjoyment. So they choose because the other part of corridor is still too dark.
Okay.
But I have a new lamp, so they attract them.
They're so happy that they are just staying in front of the designers.
Yes.
This studio make them feel more creative.
Yes, you never know. Maybe I will use mahjong as my inspiration, my design.
Maybe.
So it's vice versa.
What do you do usually, except for working?
Working.
Still working?
I like to go to cafe to talk with friends. I think friends is very valuable in my life. And that I prefer to spend a lot of time with them instead with machine, right? To judge them out.
A cup of coffee, a ray of sunshine. This is not only a choice spot for relaxation, but also a place for reflection, a platform for the interaction of different inspirations.
I really liked here. It's about this atmosphere, the street, the decoration, and the spirit of Art Deco.